Hey guys, welcome to Sabertooth Performance. So in today's video we will be talking about how to change the brakes on this car. So we're gonna go through to everything that we need. So everything right here in front of you is exactly what we're gonna use. Once again, you don't need all of this, but some of this you are gonna need. We do have some extra safety precautions such as the jack stands. We have got some gloves over here, and also we're gonna be using our jack stand. If you don't have one of these jacks, it doesn't matter at all. What you can do is you can just go into the back of your car. Let me show you quick. Just open the boot. Lift up the back cover, and right over there you have got your own jack for your vehicle. So also for this we are gonna need the spanner over here. This is to loosen the wheel bolts. So we're just gonna go and add the spanner right over there. So going all the way to the left, we have got our socket set just to remove some of the bolts to be able to access the brake pads. Going over to the right, we have got our brake pads over here. We have got a G-clamp over here, and I'll show you guys what to do exactly with this. It's just technically to retract the piston, so we're just gonna squeeze it out a little bit. So over here we have got a syringe. So what we're going to be doing with this is once we compress the piston of the brake caliper, the brake fluid level will actually go up. So we will be using this to actually remove some of the brake fluid if needed. This is not compulsory, but it is going to make your job much more easier. Going over to the right is just some cloth and some scrub, just to make sure that wherever we go, we can go and clean up. So for our first step, we're gonna go and loosen the bolts of this wheel. So we're gonna have to go and cut this off right over here, these cable ties. I just think that the previous owner, they did place it on there so that these covers doesn't actually like fall off when you drive. So we're just gonna use a normal side cutter to cut it off. So here we go. Snip number one. Oh wow, that's pretty tight. Let's see if we can actually get a better. Yeah, wow, this thing is really strong. Okay, so there goes number one, and for number two down here. Oh, so before we continue, I just want to explain to you guys quickly why I'm loosening the bolts while the car is still on the ground. You see, once the car is actually jacked up and you're gonna go and try to loosen these bolts, it might just be so damn tight that you're gonna struggle. Actually, the car will be shaking and etc. that the car can fall off of the jack stands and you can damage the car, or you can even get yourself injured. So what we're gonna do is we are just gonna loosen the bolts. We're not gonna take them out. We're just gonna loosen them, and then we're gonna go and jack up the car. So let's see if we can get this cover off. So usually these covers, they are clipped in at the top, and well, actually all around. So we're just gonna have to put in some force and pull it off. And perfect. So we do have got a few spider webs over here. That doesn't matter. So we're gonna go and loosen these bolts. So we are just gonna get the spanner that we took out of the trunk of the car. So it will be a direct fit over there. So we're just gonna go press down a little bit until it's loose. Okay, there goes number one. Now it is time to jack up your car. So just for some extra safety precautions, make sure you've got your handbrake up. You can always put like a brick or a piece of wood behind the back wheel. And then also you're going to put your car into first gear. There we go. It is just so that if you do loosen the bolts and etc. while your car is actually jacked up, so that your front wheels doesn't turn. So now for the jack up process, we're gonna go take the jack and put it right underneath the car. So let me show you guys where you're gonna put it. So as you guys can see, right over here you've got two lips. So you're gonna place it in this middle part right over there. So once the car is off the ground, I can put my hand underneath the wheel. We're gonna go and put the jack stand right in underneath. So we're just gonna place it right next to the jack, also on the same exact metal piece holding the car up. Then we're gonna go and we're gonna lower the jack until it's on the jack stand. So now is the time that we are gonna go and remove the wheel. So we're gonna go remove all of these bolts and just take the wheel off. A small introduction to the brake system. This is your brake disc and this is your brake caliper. So your brake pad is sitting right here in between the brake caliper and the brake disc. So what we're going to do now is we're going to locate the bolt right here at the top. So we're going to go and loosen this bolt and this entire brake caliper will actually lean backwards. So we're going to use our ratchet with a small extension with a 17 socket. So let me give you guys an update on what I did to actually get this bolt loose. This bolt was actually really tight. I never thought about buying Q20 or some lubricant just to loosen the bolt a little bit. So what I did was I shortened the ratchet and the socket. I removed the extension and it just felt much better. So also for safety precautions, I just moved the wheel in underneath just because we were rocking the car a little bit, just so that if the car does fall, we do have some protection underneath. And then we also turned the steering wheel a little bit to the left so that we just have some better access to this part. So as you guys can see, we finally got it loose and now it's time to remove it. So we just loosened the screw at the back. So now we're going to go and loosen the screw at the bottom, but we are not going to fully remove it. We're just going to loosen it a little bit so that this entire caliper can tilt a little bit to the side. So we just loosened the bolt at the back, and as you guys can see, the brake caliper came loose. But the problem now is there's a lot of tension on this brake line over here, and you don't want that. So we're gonna go and remove the bolt here at the back and just remove the entire brake caliper. Out she goes, and this should come right off. So right in here we have got our two brake pads and we have got the piston there at the back. So this should just clip out and we will be able to remove it. Here goes the first brake, and as you guys can see, there is almost no more brakes on this one left. And here for the second one, and this one is almost metal on metal. So right here at the back, this round thing you're seeing is the brake caliper piston. So we're going to use our G-clamp to actually go and push it back. So to make it easier, at the top where the brake fluid reservoir is, you're just going to go and loosen the cap so that this can go in easier. So for the Toyota, this is the cap over here. So you're just going to loosen it. You can actually completely remove it. And then when we do compress the caliper, you need to make sure that this fluid does not run out, and that is why we have got this syringe. So we're going to take our G-clamp and put it right here on the caliper. So make sure that the end piece do not press on the brake line, and also the stopper, we're going to stop it right on the piston just to make sure that if we do turn it, we actually compress it. It just got some grip, so while I turn it, you'll notice that the piston is actually being pushed backwards. And perfect, it's pushed all the way back. As you can see, it is flushed. So now we're gonna go and remove the G-clamp. Perfect, and we're gonna install the new brakes. So before we go and install this brake pad, this metal part right over here, you're just gonna make sure that it's still in there. Usually you do get them with the brakes, but this time I didn't, but the next time I will replace them. Technically they just help you so that your brake pad doesn't shift around too much, and also that it's not metal to metal contact, so it doesn't make too much noise. So we're just gonna go put it in and slide it to the back. So this might be a little bit difficult, but you will get it in there eventually. And good stuff, it's slided all the way to the back, and we're gonna put the other brake pad in the front. So we have got both these brake pads on the caliper, so we're just gonna go place it like this and slide it on the disc brake. So I just want to tell you guys that, as you notice, I still haven't put any tension on this brake line over here. If you don't have any second hands, you can put like a big bucket over here and just lay it on the bucket. I was very fortunate enough that it can actually balance on the disc. So for our next step is just sliding it on. And perfect, so we're gonna go and tighten the two bolts at the back. So just to show you guys where the bolt is again, it is this one over there, and if we just look further downwards, there is the second one over there. Let's see if we can get a better angle for you. It is this one right over here. And she is completed. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go up to the reservoir. We're just gonna close the cap. We're gonna get in the car and press the brakes a few times. Just make sure that when you do press the brakes, it actually does get hard. We're just gonna come back, make a visual inspection, make sure everything is fine. And then when we're done, we're gonna go put the wheel back on, just tighten the bolts in a cross pattern. And then we're gonna do the other side as well, which I will obviously do off recording. And then we're gonna drop the car, tighten the bolts, and take her out for a drive and make sure everything is okay.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget. But you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do
All four of these bolts are hand tightened. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our spanner and just tighten it a little bit more. Once again, the car is still on the jack and the jack stands, so you don't want to tighten it all the way. So we're just gonna tighten it in a cross pattern. So now it is to drop the car. So we just jack the car up a little bit. We're gonna remove the jack stand and then drop the jack. Good stuff. The car is on the ground. We're gonna go and tighten these bolts in a cross pattern. And we are completely done. So we took her out for a test drive and she's driving amazing. So for the first few 100 kilometers, I would say, don't be too rough on the brakes. Do just give it a little bit for a little bit so that the brakes can actually take form of your disc brakes. But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy this video, as always, please do drop a big like. And if you guys would love to support the channel, hit the logo at the bottom right corner to subscribe.